Hello everyone, I am Tacet and welcome to the Gems of War Guild Wars, week 75, day 6. So today, we of course got ourselves some red Guild Wars. Today is the last day to finish up the faction event if you want to still get some more progress on it. Of course you can still do it on any day, but as far as the actual event with all the sigils, today is the last day. So if you're still planning on using those potion effects to have a little bit of an easier time if you bought a bunch, now would be a great time to do so. Also, I just realized we got a cool dragon egg emoji from the thing. Didn't even notice that. But anyways, obviously we already finished this out yesterday. However, if you have not, make sure to do so. One other pretty noteworthy thing is, well, take tribute. Don't forget those. But the other noteworthy thing is if you want to go get name Basilisk. If you want to go get the Basilisk that came out this Monday, today's the last chance you have. You have like 6 hours left. That was a stream. Or wait, math. 5 hours left. Well, actually, there's an easy way to check. You have sorry, I was wrong. You have 6 hours and 53 minutes as of this exact moment in time in order to still get that Basilisk. So if you still want to go and get that trip, he is still in drop table. So yeah, make sure to go throw some event keys before that time expires if you still want to try getting your copy if you haven't already. And other than that, of course, we got the last of Guild Wars. So make sure to finish that up, and that is what we'll be doing right now. We have won every day except for the very first day. And as far as ranking, we are actually in third, but after we do our battles, we might end up chipping up a little bit. We'll end up seeing. We have all of our battles in as far as what's the cutoff, but if anyone scored very low today, we'll be able to get rid of their score and then replace it with our better score. And so given that we have a 2-3 there, we will definitely be able to replace something for a much better score, that's for sure. So let's get into it. So as far as my red Guild War day, we are going to be running with... Actually, what are we running for red Guild War these days? Oh yeah, we've been experimenting around. Red Guild War. It's one of those days. It's one of those really weird days. I normally run Yagoi Queen of Tanya. I actually ended up switching into this. I forget the exact reason why I switched into this, but there was a really specific reason. I think it was skull spam was the main reason why. But we have an attack steal, which is what makes me say that. So basically what you'd want to do with this is rush up Harpy Mage, get a Clarion as quickly as possible, and then utilize the 4-time stun to get rid of any kind of annoying traits, and then just kind of keep destroying it. I'm pretty sure that was the game plan with this. I think we will still keep going with it. Let me go and modify Sun Spear in case it's not optimal. So we got a Freeze, check. We got Immune to Burning, check. Entangle, that's the most important thing, check. Firestorm at start of battle, check. Submerge, check. Extra red, check. And triple damage to burning, which I don't think we're actually using this team, do we? No, we did not. But none of his other two traits, I believe, are relevant. Let me double check. Pretty sure the other two are just completely useless. Yep, extra stuff for Merfolk and extra stuff for War Gears. Both useless compared to triple damage. Though we can't even use the triple damage, unfortunately. Anyways, before we go and do that, though, spoilers. Let's go over all the things that are coming into next week. Also, before I do that, let me say hello to everyone. Hello, Curtis. Hello, Humberto. Hello, Bill. Hello, Marcelo. Hello, Gustavo. Hello, Alfie. Hello, John. And hello, Joseph. Welcome, everyone. And hello, everyone else. So, Monday event troop, tomorrow. We are going to be getting this cute little cub. It is absolutely adorable and has amazing art. So given all troops that have amazing art, they must be completely useless. So this mana core is no different. It gets to charm the first enemy, which is completely pointless because you get to waste half of its damage. Because if you're charming the first enemy, it will never end up hitting with the other side. So this is very pointless, especially with how high its mana cost is. It could be 5 mana cost, and this thing would probably be a useless ability still. And then it gets to drain it by 3 mana. But yeah, he is way too high of a mana cost. That needs to be like an Empower with 6 mana at max for this thing to be even remotely viable. And it has neither of those two things. So this thing is going to be instantly dead content, which is pretty unfortunate because it is quite adorable. Anyways, next thing. This is the troop that we have for... Wait, what are we getting this one for? We don't need it for the... Okay, so this one's slightly confusing because, if I'm not mistaken, there's theoretically no boss in this event. Unless they're going to be adding one. I think they might have just done this because it's not a raid event. This is a World Lore event. I think they ended up adding this just so Leonis Empire would have one because they're trying to get all of the raid things in for a reason that might be a little bit more evident next patch. Yeah, I think they're trying to get on all the raid troops. So it kind of seems weird that they're adding this because I'm pretty sure the World Lore event has no bosses. And if it does, it's only on the 4th battle every single time, in which case you would never really use this. So, yeah, it has the standard extra damage against bosses 3 to 5 times based on Ascension. It then drains 2 mana from all enemies, so that's somewhat okay, I guess. A full AoE mana drain, kind of like a little mini Scion, while having pretty good boss damage. And it has 40% score reduction, which I guess is okay overall. You pretty much never really use this thing, especially since it's not even associated to a raid event right now. But obviously, you'd still go and get it through the packs, which will be available, oddly enough, through the World Lore event, which would be kind of weird, but that will be where it is. The other thing I wanted to go mention is just the way that this World event is going to be working. So basically, to summarize this quickly, they'll go read all of it as well. But to summarize all this quickly, basically, once every 4 battles, you will get a Eternal Elhamagrim. Make sure to always kill this. This Eternal Elhamagrim is worth so much more points than every other room. This Eternal Elhamagrim room is worth 20. All the other rooms are worth anywhere from 1 to 3. So you definitely want to make sure you kill out these Eternal Elhamagrims because they will disappear after the wherever they are available. So you want to, the second you see an Elhamagrim battle, you want to always take the Elhamagrim battle because the amount of points is substantially higher, like ridiculously higher. For this room compared to any other room. But basically, there'll be 4 other rarities. Obviously, you'd want to be going for the legendary or epic one, whatever this one up being. Whatever one is called the Matron Dragatania room. You want to make sure to always go for that one. These are probably like the ultra rare colored rooms or something, or the epic colored rooms. These will end up giving 2 points each. And whatever the lowest rarity is, which is likely the ultra rare colored room, you want to avoid this because it gives pretty much nothing relative to all the other ones. But yeah, definitely make sure when it appears about every 4 battles or so that you kill out the Elhamagrim because this is worth 20 points. And these treasures are only worth 1. So this is the difference of 1, 2, and 3 points compared to 20. So that's a huge amount of points, obviously. I guess we don't need to read through all this, but it's pretty self-explanatory. We kind of just explained it. But it's just going through all that in more text. But essentially, this will appear every 4 rooms. Make sure to go for it. The Eternal Elhamagrim. And just take the highest rarity ones as you normally would. The level of the room does not matter. However, the rarity of the room does, as with all World Lore events. Anyways, other things. This Friday, we are getting a new bounty troop. This weekend is Bounty Hunter, or I should say next weekend. So we're going to begin the War Elephant. It is a rare from Leonis Empire. It is a Beast Knight. Kind of weird that's a knight. But it's a, because it doesn't even have like a rider or anything on it, or at least not in the image. Anyways, it gives magic plus 1 life and 2 magic to all allies below me, and then creates 8 skulls. What's rather interesting about this is the first bounty hunter troop that has skull spam. So this could theoretically be good into the future. Maybe not just because of its mana conflict with things like Tagraki. However, yeah, skull spam for bounty hunter to help speed things up has potential. It's definitely going to be a first slot troop, given that all of its benefit from its ability goes downwards, as well as the fact that it has leader for 3 to all stats, and it even has some score reduction. So overall, not that bad of a bounty troop at all. Maybe not the absolute best. It's not like a Tagraki, but it's definitely a great utility troop, and it won't really get in the way too much this bounty hunter event. So overall, pretty nice. And other than that, this week we'll be having on Tuesday the faction event for Dark Pits. On Wednesday we'll be having the Manta Cub, which I believe is just the Leonis Empire bonus, if I'm not mistaken. It is, yes, Leonis Empire bonus. And Thursday we'll be having the class event for War Priest. And then Friday, as I mentioned, we'll be having Bounty Hunter with the War Elephant coming into the game. And that is everything. Anyways, let's go get this Guild War on. Do we need to make any kind of adjustments at all to this team? Yes, I think I want to go 2 seasons. So let me go adjust accordingly. I think I'm currently running with Magic, so let me go into seasons and see how this goes. And we might go cleanse depending on the battles that we're up against. Actually, do we even need, we might need cleanse this battle. No, we don't. Okay. So let's go and give this a shot, see what happens, and see how badly we lose. No, I was kidding. But let's see. Anything else we need to kind of revamp? I don't believe so. Should be good to go. Just trying to double check. No, let's go for the poke, get our mana, get our protection. We're not missing any color. Actually, yes, we're not missing any. I think we're good to go. Should be good. Also, hello, Cookie. Welcome. Hello, Starlight. Hello, Drock Savage. Hello, John. Hello, Tuna. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh yeah, I did get to test the beta. I've been playing a little bit this weekend. Mostly played on Friday though. But yeah, I've seen the beta. It has things. It has shiny things. It has less shiny things, but it has mostly shiny things. It's interesting. Not much I can currently say about it. But I have played it. Oh, I meant to do that one down, though that worked, so okay, there we go. Let's see, what do we even want here? I think we just take the safe skull. Just to kill that out the way. Go and steal his attack so he doesn't get any value off of it. I lied, I'm going for this instead. Grab that. And it's already dead because it actually got double hit. I really wish I had a 100% chance to do double hit. The inconsistency of Obsidious is so annoying due to not having it. Okay, do we need any kind of status effect this time? No, kind of. Well, Essence of Evil, if it gets stunned, we'll disable it anyways. So we'll just run with what we have. Biggest issue here will be the Wild Queen thing. Because even if I steal its attack, we get to start with Entangle, so hopefully that will not be as bad. What bracket are we currently in? We're actually down to 6. However, there's a chance we will make first place in this bracket. We're definitely moving up. But we were missing someone the other week, which made us go down. Ooh, that disable. That disable's not nice. But yeah, it's annoying when you're missing a person for Guild Wars. Even with the 27 out of 30, it can still hurt your points quite a bit. And they did finally add 27 out of 30. That was added a couple patches ago. Do we have any good drops here? I'm not seeing any. I see a blue that we can connect, which, based on our options, almost seems worth it. I believe it's right... no, it's one down. Right there. There we go. Unfortunately, we're frozen on the other part of that. He's going to get a big Wild Queen in there, and I can't disable his attack right now. Or are we frozen on green? Yes, we are, of course. Of all the things to be frozen on, it's the only thing that hasn't actually turned on the board. He didn't go for it, though, but we're still frozen. So I'm going to have to Obsidious it then. And just hope we get something out of it. Come on, double poke Obsidious, go. Of course, you only do a single poke. Okay, that is a lot of damage. We can actually explode kill it right now, though. If I do this on this and try for green, will it backfire if it triggers on red? How many skulls will we get? It will. It'll only do 5 damage. What do we target? I need it to explode green. But if it explodes red, we will only do 5 damage to him, which means he will live. I think I risk it. I think we risk it. No! Why? That's exactly what I just said. Rip. Double rip. He just died a death mark. Thing, stop dying. I'll go for the Dawnbringer here. I hate Red Day. I might go back to Yagoi Queen of Tanya. Let's see. Take that. Get the other thing. The biggest issue with this day is skull spam. More so than anything. It's the highest liability to have to deal with. Skulls are very annoying on this day. Because you don't really have much that has skull protection on Red Day. Unless you use like the Mythic and then you're mana blocking like crazy on yourself. Oh, you have armor, don't you? Hello. It survives. Okay, let's take that down then. Wait, does Leonis Empire already have one? Hold up. Does it? Let me see. Oh, it does. Weird. That's even more confusing then. Yeah, I didn't realize that. It actually does already have one. I have no clue what they're doing that for then. Very strange. That is very strange indeed. Oh, why am I going to Guild? I want to go to Guild Wars. Gosh, another one of this exact same team. But yeah, Skull Spam runs really rampant on this day. I'm not sure why it's so popular on Red Day. What do I even run on my defend? I run Skull Spam. It's not doing as good though. These were our best 2 days. The Yagoi Queen of Tanya and the Truffle team. With the Truffle team technically doing the absolute best. Though they both basically scored the same. But, well, it's not doing too bad. It won twice, but Could be doing a bit better. Yeah, Skull Spam's really popular on this day. It's the biggest issue with Red Day. Okay, let's see. Let's go get the attack reduced so we don't have to deal with it. And then it should be smooth from there. So grab those reds. Grab our explosion. Grab a... which way do we want to take this? Or do we even want to take it? I think we go for the yellow. And then explode something else. Which way? Let's do that one because it has a lot of different options that will work well. We didn't have an Obsidious cast. And he has really low attack right now. I'd actually take a brown from that Cascade, though we don't really need it since we already have his mana up. Okay, can we get an extra turn anywhere? I do not see one. Can we get a triple anywhere that's relevant? We can get a triple from here. With a sky chance for 5 times. Actually, there was 2 different places where a blue could fall for 5 times there. Unfortunately, we got neither. And then we could throw a Dawnbringer. Biggest issue here is he's going to essence us. And we will not be able to stop it. Okay, he essence 0. That's not as bad. Since it's all the way in the back. So that does freeze more colors than anyone else. I guess Obsidious would also frozen a lot of colors. So we are currently entangled. So it is probably best to 5 times drop this into a skull. So that he doesn't get these. There we go. Okay. We are frozen on blue, so I'm just going to have to go and explode all that. We're not frozen on brown, though, right now. So I actually can grab that then. And if this double hits, we actually win right now. We'll do it... where's the safest spot for this? Let's do it over here for now. Okay, good. We did get a double hit there. Nice. Sure, I'll go see what your red team is real quick. I do feel like Red Day is one of my weakest days these days. It's because I keep experimenting around with it. The biggest issue is skull spam on any of these days, though. I feel like it's the thing that red is weakest against. That's why almost everyone runs it. Brown Day is the hardest. I don't know. I didn't have too much trouble with Brown Day this time around, though I did use the new mythic for it. But yeah, we had the... I also made the Brown Basilisk team. I didn't try that one, though. But, we had the anti-Yagoi Queen Titania one, which uses, like, the Wild Queen, which I've tried for some of them, which wasn't too bad. And most recently... Oh, no, that was for Blue Day. Never mind. Never mind, that was for Blue Day. The, I forgot. The version of, the Sycorax one that I actually want to use is specifically for Blue Day. It's, Jar of Eyes, Sycorax, Mistralis, and Mirage Queen. I feel like out of everything that Sycorax can be used for Guild War Day, Blue Day is his best day. Anyways, I can see what that one team is. Let me go open up a thing so we can go and get to it. Let's see, where's my channel? YouTube. Why must you make it so hard to navigate to your own channel? There we go. Oh, there we go. To the live stream! Let's see, let's leave a like on the own stream. There we go. Let's see if we can hit 10 likes. Go. There we go. We already hit it. Oh no, we're at 9. Where's the 10th? There we go. Let me go grab this thingy. There we go. We hit it. Let's see. Let's go X out of this. Let me go and copy this over to the thingy so I can actually go use it. Where should we go? Put this. What team am I not using? Oh yeah, I never did get the... Oh gosh! I need to go record that video. I'll do it right after the stream then. After I grab a bite to eat. Because I still haven't ate dinner yet today. Gosh, what do I overwrite right now? Let's get rid of this one, I guess. Wait, why do I have this team saved twice? I have the exact same team saved twice. Weird. Oops, I did not... Ah! I gotta go back. I hate when I do that. Fail. The fail is very strong. I just recopied it. Let me open it again. Sorry about that. The fail. The fail is very strong. Also, who left the upside down like button? Let's see. Copy, copy. Let's try this again. Paste team. Doomed Crossbow, Scurvy Sea Dogs, Zugoff, and Drowned Sailor. Interesting. As Dragon Guard, even more interesting. Doesn't Zugoff has burn? So you'd have triple damage after a little while. What setup does it use for Dragon Guard? 5 attack in PvP. And Guild Wars does count as PvP, by the way. Immune to burning. Barrier at start. 20% extra. Some extra stats in first slots. Extra red mana. And obviously triple to burning. Though it could run Dispel instead. But it does give it +2/+2. And Scurvy Sea Dog does blue, and Drowned Sailor, I believe, also does blue, doesn't it? Yes. I will give it a shot. Might as well. Why not? I should probably rename it, though. To, Red Skull. And a mana generates mostly blue, so if they hard red counter us, it won't be as bad. And our banner's already set accordingly, actually. Or our medals, I mean. So we should be good to go. Best Troops 2019. Did I still never cover that video too? Yeah. So many things. I definitely need to cover it before next patch. I wanted to cover it before next patch because that's when the meta shifts. And we'll definitely cover it by then. Next patch is still like a week or two away. Probably even a little bit longer than that. Okay, let's see. I'll probably cover it in the next week. Yeah, the spell you use only if you specifically need it. Otherwise you use the red. In this case, we don't need the spell. Well, they will have Submerge, but the way that we're going to be using Zugoff, it won't really matter that they have Submerge for the most part. So we're frozen on red, but that shouldn't matter. Actually, it's impossible for us to get frozen on our color. That's rather interesting. Because the way that this team is set up, we can't actually be frozen because Zugoff has immune. And nothing else uses blue on the team. Interesting strategy. Okay, we'll go for this for now. A little bit of a miss, but we'll still make it work. So this gives us Zugoff. We can then kill whatever we want with it. However, what's our alignment on this? Green to blue. I know we already have full mana, but is it worth going for? Probably not. We already did that cast, so let me just get rid of that for now. Unfortunately, to a pure miss. We'd ideally have alignment here, but we do not. However, he doesn't really have much of an option for next turn, so let's take that for now. Get that killed. We still somehow have no alignment on this. So I'm not sure what I actually want here. Ideally red surge, but that's not within play. So we might just have to take a random blue. We take it that way in case we could take the red still, and we can. As long as it surges, we should be good. What's the convert on this again? Blue. It's actually not too bad then. Because we get to use all the excess blues that we created, which we have right now. There we go. Yeah, it's an interesting strategy. Because you're creating a bunch of blue on a red day. And the thing that you're creating blue into doesn't have any way to be frozen. So basically, you can't be frozen unless they curse stun you, which is not really going to ever be set on a defense team. It's also a pretty good counter for these heavy blue teams, which apparently we're starting to face all of a sudden. I'm not sure how popular that actually is on red day, but I think the main thing that made it gain popularity is the fact that this converts red to blue, and ends up countering out this kind of freeze team pretty well. Has this been really popular on red day lately? I've mostly been seeing Skull Spam team, but I do know this gets used occasionally. I don't personally set it though, I set Skull Spam. Because our first three were Skull Spam, then we had these for the other two. Do we have a good convert here? It's yellow to blue. If that was extra turn, I'd go for it, even if it wasn't that much mana. My biggest concern here is he's about to get a lot of value out of his cast. Actually, it's not that much value. We'll do that. He'll do his thing. And then we should be ready to go for the win. We just convert this over. Actually, I didn't even need to convert that. I could have just taken the mana. But oh well. Okay, we good? Take a skull. Cut it out. Get a Zugoff. Kill the thing that's about to cast with the Zugoff. Hope we get alignment on skulls. Win. Dead. But yeah, that actually works really solid. I like the theme that it has going on. Definitely an interesting theme. We didn't get to see how it goes against Skull Spam, though. And we scored about the same thing as yesterday. We didn't get to see how it worked with Skull Spam. I guess we'll have to try that next week, so I guess we'll put it into our team slot thingy. Just so we don't forget about it. Where to go? Red Skull. We'll grab you for it. Plus, it'll give us a reason to use Dragon Guard. I very rarely use Dragon Guard. The main reason you would use it is because it has skull reduction while having triple damage to burning. It is the only triple damage to burning troop that has skull reduction attached, which makes it good as a first slot for both offensive and defensive. What am I looking for? Guild War Red. Yeah, we'll give it a shot next time to see how it goes against Skull Spam, because we didn't actually get to see. And we don't actually have a frontline tank in that team, which is slightly concerning, but once you get Zugov going, it won't really matter too much. Because if they get a stun on us, that's going to melt very quickly once they start hitting Dragon Guard down. And if they're using a Obsidious Skull Spam team, it might be... If they're using, like, the Possessed King one, it probably won't be as bad. But you go up against a Obsidious, and that's going to be a little bit concerning. Because we actually do need our traits for quite a few things, mostly our hero, to make sure it can do its damage output and tank. But anyways, so that's that. Let's go and clear out our dailies. And then after that, we'll go hand out a code and go from there. Also, that is not the team I want to use for this. Yeah, Zugov can't be frozen. He is impervious. Unless you curse stun him, which no one's really going to be running curse stun for the most part. It's not impossible because of Obsidious, how easily he gets 4 times stun. But very rarely will you see curse stun on the same team, defensively. Offensively, you might use it, but defensively, it's very, very rare to see that on a defend team. Even rarer that the AI actually gets it off. So still trying to level up this Dervish. Almost at 100. I don't feel like Obsidious is too common on Red Day, though. Actually, I'm not even sure what day Obsidious is actually most common on. I think it might be Green Day, just because of Web Spinner. Might be one of the more popular days Obsidious. But I'm actually not sure what the most popular day for Obsidious Defend is. But if I had to guess, it's probably Green Day. Because that not only helps counter against Skull Spam, but it also has anti-Web Spinner. Glory Gnome, 1,000 glory, go. Aw, 500. Well, it's not its worst drop. Still good. Still good. How many tiers to buy to get all 16 rewards from the Factions Assault weekend? It depends if you do all room or not. But I believe you need to get to around 300 or so with all room. So with that being said, you get what? 12 default battles. From those 12, you'll get about 2 Valravens. That brings you to 160. So you would need to get 14 sigils total, about, approximately. And given the Valravens that you get from it, probably closer to 12 to 10. So that, I believe, means tier 5 is how far you would need to go, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's either tier 4 or tier 5. It depends how the Valravens fall. But somewhere's around tier 4 or 5. Let me double check sigil-wise. I'll let you know. 1 second. So you get 1, then 1, then 2, then 2. How many is that total then? 6? And then you get 3. That would be 9. Yeah, you're either going to need tier 4 or tier 5. It depends how the Valravens fall. But one or the other will probably reach it. You can start with tier 4, and if you need to do tier 5, do tier 5. But as long as you do every room, I think you might be able to get away with tier 4 for it. Is it tier 4? Oh, okay. Yeah, I never do it that way, so I don't know for sure. Yeah, tier 4 sounds about right. I've never actually played the event that way. Yeah, tier 4 sounds right. As long as you make sure to do every single room. Also, make sure to do them in multiplayer order, because you also get more points that way. And points will be a little bit tighter doing it that way. Because the rewards are based on how many points you got, not based on how many floors you've gone through. And you get about 10% more points or so by doing multiplayer order correctly. by taking the highest multipliers and then going to the lowest multipliers. That makes anywhere from like a 10 to 20% difference per delve. Is there any units that work well with King Bloodwood? For the most part, no. He's actually a rather underwhelming mythic. He doesn't really excel at anything, which makes him, unfortunately, not that good. And his ability itself doesn't really synergize too well with the bleed. The Entangle's not bad, and his damage output's okay. But there's much better options. So he's got a random Jewel Gnome. Please drop Volkey. I don't need any other drop you have. Really, you're gonna survive with that? He's pretty much dead. But he refuses to go down. One HP. What do we get from it? We get ourselves a useless drop. Well, that's not the useless drop. That's the useless drop. Too bad there isn't a Deed Gnome. Could you imagine how powerful that would be? If they added a Deed Gnome that has a chance of giving one of any deed. Some Writs. Or a really rare chance for an Imperial. That'd probably be the best gnome in the entire game. In the current state of the game. I highly doubt they would ever add that though. But yeah, we need a Deed Gnome. Also, that reminds me, what did I get for my offers today? Nothing good. Oh yeah, we finally maxed out all the purple magic kingdoms. So there are still 2 other purple kingdoms, if I'm not mistaken. Kedar and one other one. But, oh yeah, and Golvania. I believe Kedar and Golvania. For HP and armor are still the other purples. Even though we already have 4 purples maxed out. All the magic ones, of course. Anyways, let me go hand out a code. And let's go level up that dervish. Get at least another level, if not more. Let's see. I'll probably wait till Monday night to go and max it out, though. And the main reason for that is we'll have access to easier PvP battles. Would a Deed Gnome have to look like Adam Sandler? Probably not. 1 second. Where did I put my codes? I keep forgetting I have them in the Discord now. Or at least this batch. Let's see. Let me double check that this works. Where's my code section? Put that there. Put that there. Claim it. Refresh it. Paste it. Copy it. Copy it again to make sure it copied. And put this right over here. There you guys go. There's the redeem code used on gemsaward.com with the game code section. Your invite code can be found if your settings menu. Whatever your game says right over here in the bottom left corner is what you put in for invite code. Redeem code is right over there in chat. Just copy paste the random numbers and letters starting with ZT, and it gives the same rewards as always. 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, 2,500 gold, and it's only usable on PC mobile version, of course. Consoles cannot use it. And there you guys go. Enjoy, everyone, and no problem. Let's see. Player free faction sigils. Oh yeah, we could always do that for quicker kills if we wanted to. Doing the faction thingy things. I actually still have Fell Roost at level 20. As you can see here. We still have one saved at level 20. If we wanted to take that out real quick. Unfortunately, the second we do it, we'll have to go to 50s though. Or to 500s. Which obviously we wouldn't do it at 500s. We could theoretically do that. But I also still want to get tokens. So I'll probably do the token route. Also, there's not as many teams that can one-shot those ranges. Though you can still get away with it, though. You just have to pick a faction that you have more stats in order to still get that quick kill. Like one where we can use Phoenicia. Oh, we could actually get the Abel's XP a little bit better that way, then. But for now, I think we will stick with Explore. Anything useful from this week's spoiler units? No. Well, the Bounty Hunter this Friday will be. But as far as what we're getting on Monday, no. All Monday troops are rather useless. But the Friday Bounty Hunter troop, at least in the context of Bounty Hunter, isn't that bad. Outside of Bounty Hunter, it's not going to really be used. Like every Bounty Hunter... excuse me. Like pretty much every Bounty Hunter troop in the game. I think the most viable Bounty Hunter troop outside of Bounty Hunter is probably the Sea Turtle thing. But other than that, they're generally just used within the context of Bounty Hunter. Red team, we ended up changing to a different red team this time around based on someone's suggestion. Ended up working out pretty well. We went Dragon Guard as Doomed Crossbow, followed by the 2 troops that convert to blue off of Empower, as well Scurvy Sea Dog and that one undead one, I forget his name. And the other thing that we fed into was Zugoff. So it was basically a Zugoff build. The entire team was built around Zugoff, which is a rather expensive way to do Red Guild War. But it did work out pretty well because we only had 1 blue on our entire team. And it had Impervious, so it couldn't be frozen, which worked really well. Because aside from Skull Spam team being used a lot, the other most common team that we seem to be up against is that one team that converts red to blue. Yeah, Drowned Sailor was his name. The other one I was referring to with the blue convert. But the red to blue convert that is very commonly used on Red Guild War defend teams ends up countering that pretty well. Because it basically creates all the blue that we actually need to be able to function. So, yeah, it actually works out quite nicely. And we can't be frozen with all the freeze that that team has. So it's not even that big a deal. Is it worth it to craft the 2 weapons this week? I need to go double check what the weapons were. I believe the answer is no. I don't recall either of the 2 weapons being good. And if they were, one was better than the other. But I'm pretty sure they were both completely useless. Yes, they were both completely useless. Oh, no, well, if you were going to craft one, do Cobra's Curse. The main thing, this I feel like still doesn't have a viable usage. However, it is one of the better weapons that are like this because it creates its own color. It creates green, which feeds into itself because it uses green. So this is one of the slightly better ones in that regard. However, there aren't too many good Naga synergies currently within the game, which really holds down this weapon from actually being really viable. But as more Nagas come into the game, this weapon will increasingly become better. So if you were to craft anything this week, it would definitely be Cobra's Curse. However, for the most part, it's probably worth skipping on all of them. But if you are going to craft a weapon, get Cobra's Curse, because it'll have the most amount of viability going into the future. Currently, I don't feel like it has much of a use, though. There's just not enough good Nagas. The only thing you can really currently synergize it with is a bunch of Meriliths. And like one other troop, maybe. But Merilith is currently the best synergy it has, which isn't much. But it might be used in some kind of team in the future. With like that weapon, Merilith, and 2 other things. We'll grab that for now. So we can cascade the full mana, which is slightly quicker than exploding it all. Since we don't have to wait for all the time of it coming down onto the board. We'll grab that as well. Oh yeah, that reminds me, I still need to go re-remind Salty for the 3rd time that I need codes. Just to make sure to remind her. I'll probably give her a message after the stream and then again tomorrow at some point. And then again during her stream. And if she hasn't gotten it by then, I have no clue. We have enough codes to last us till about Thursday, currently. Thanks to Keylime giving me his spares. But that's as far as we'll have. Until we run out again. Yeah, it would be okay with Treachery. I feel like it needs a Mythic to synergize with, though. And there's currently no really good Naga Mythic. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, the only Naga Mythic in the game is Oriali, which is rather average and only normally used for 4 times poison, like with Scorpius. Did I use all my good super codes? I haven't checked all of them, but I believe I have, or almost have. If I have any left, I have like 3, if even that. I don't know, when's the next time we would even give out a super code? What's the next big thing that's coming up? Maybe Independence Day for America. Pretty sure there'll still be protests going up to that point. But, That's about a month from now. Oh, duh. Next patch. We can give it for 5.0 patch. Duh. Which is also about around the same time. Because we're probably getting the patch by the end of this month or early next month. What troops appear next week? What do you mean? An event key drop table? Leonis Empire is next week's event key drop table. There's nothing exceptionally good in drop table. Actually, I shouldn't say that. It has Divine Ishbala and it has Korvash. So those are the two things you would want to try to get. Mostly Divine Ishbala. But, yeah, nothing too good other than that. Those two. The Mythic's really lackluster, and it's pretty much the only reason you'd actually open is for Divine Ishbala. Because you basically got Korvash this week. It's called Basilisk. But if you haven't picked up Divine Ishbala yet, she is available next week in the event key drop table. She is actually considered so good that she is the only 50% mana start troop in the entire game. That was reduced below 50% mana start. Just because she was already so good with her own ability. I still wish they would bring her back to 50% though. Yeah, I went over all the things for tomorrow at the beginning of the stream. Actually, I think it was like a minute or two after the beginning. So you got Sycorax from a Glory Key drop. Nice. You like it for its generation. Yeah, it has a lot of mana generation. It takes a little bit to get it going. Once it gets going, it just keeps going. But yeah, the Mythic that came in, which is still available for another 5 days, by the way. You still have all of, well, not all of next week, but you have till Friday reset. So you have pretty much 4 days. You have all of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to try to get it still. So if you get any keys from Guild next week, you might want to use them immediately to try to get them. If you get any Glory Gem or Guild keys. Though do make sure if you do Guild keys to make sure you get your seals up. One strategy for that, of course, is to throw orbs, coordinate with your guild, so you get 40,000 pretty much within a day by everyone throwing their orbs down, the Orbit clans. But yeah, the Mythic's still available for a little while. Definitely worth considering. It's actually a lot better than I thought it would be. I wouldn't say it's a must-have, but it's definitely a good amount above mid-tier as far as Mythics. I still hate how long it takes to get it rolling, but once it gets going, it's even more consistent than the Vespera troop as far as its looping. It's not as consistent as like Truffle or something, but it's pretty high as far as Mythic consistency for infinitely looping. It might actually have the highest consistency of any Mythic for infinitely looping. I can't think of a single Mythic that has a higher consistency. And the other one that somewhat does is the one that you synergize with it. It's Mistralis. It's not a perfect infinite loop, but it's definitely pretty good. Truffle is one of the few things in the game that actually Truffle might be the only troop in the game that has 100% consistent infinite loop. Where if you get it fully optimized with Forest Troll, 2 Truffles, and a Green Storm, unless you deliberately try to lose a turn, you will forever have infinite attacks. Yeah, Ishbala is a legendary. It's not a mythic, so it's a little bit easier to obtain. But still rather hard. Like, you could go through like 100 or 200 event keys just to get it. Though you could get lucky and get it within like 10. Though if you are paying for them with gems, you do get a slight discount if you buy them 50 at a time. But Divine Ishbala is the only reason you'd pretty much open event keys next week. Unless you were trying to get the mythic for Kingdom Star levels, but it's a rather useless mythic. Gob Truffle can replace the current mythic in a lot of situations. However, it doesn't cover every single mana option, with the main one being blue. It's why I ended up using it for Blue Day as well. If there is any location where I feel like the mythic that just came out is most useful, it is Blue Guild War. Like, if there was any reason to get it, I feel like it would be to make your Blue Guild War team stronger. Because from every single combination I've seen so far, Blue Guild War seems to be its strongest option. As far as every various team synergy that you would actually viably use in a battle. Like, it's still good for a lot of things, but compared to other troops, I feel like Blue Guild War is where it shines best. Which, if I'm not mistaken, even uses Truffle as well, so. But, where'd it go? Is this one, right? But yeah. I don't know. This one didn't end up using Truffle. It was originally, but I ended up going to Mistralis route. But, yeah, I feel like this is its most solid option as far as being used within anything useful. Because it's too slow for PvP compared to other options that exist. So that basically leaves it only to Guild Wars. Because you're generally not going to be using this in factions compared to other options. So, of the 3 color days, brown, it's going to be hard counter too much by things that convert out brown. Green, it could theoretically work, but doesn't have as many synergies for damage. And in blue, it just works really well. Very, very well. Anyways, where were we? Back to the Zacian. Get our small amounts of tokens. But we're getting there. We're at about we're almost 2/3 the way there as far as our total amount of tokens towards having 100 upgraded. We're getting there. Of course, Explore 12 would give us a lot more. This we get quick EXP from these. How many event keys do you think you have to open to get a mythic? It takes around 1,000 or so. 900 keys would be 0 or 1 mythics, most likely. Oh yeah, later in the game, every single troop will have a mythic border. This is mostly because you'd, of course, want to upgrade everything whenever you can, for the most part, because you'd want to go and do it for kingdom upgrades. The only time that you wouldn't end up ascending a troop is if you needed specifically 2 copies of it, and it would get rid of it. This is most common with legends. Let's say you have a legend, you have 6 copies of it. However, you might need 2 for a team. You always want to make sure you wait till 7 in an instance like that, or to make sure they have 2 left. Mainly because if you ascend them all the way, you can only put as many onto your team as you have copies of. So there are some instances where you would end up needing to save 2 of them rather than just the 1. Squirrel daily dungeon. Oh, did I forget to do the daily dungeon? Did I start it and then completely forget? Oh yes, I did. I didn't even start it. No, definitely don't forget to do it on Sundays, of all days especially. It's Diamond Day. Best kingdom to farm medals. It depends what team you're using, but and also the difficulty that you're doing. But there really isn't any that are too much better or worse than another, depending on what team you're using. If you're using like a Scorpius team, you pretty much just do Jess or Skea. But otherwise, you pretty much just chase whatever the 20% are. If you're doing something that's flexible to be able to be used anywheres. The only ones you kind of really want to avoid, though it depends on your team if you even would need to, is White Helm, because it has the highest amount of spell reduction of any kingdom. And Kazale, because if you're running an instant kill team, if I'm not mistaken, it has both a Doom and a what's it called? The Immune to Devourer. So if you're running like an Iron Gut, you can't run Devourer on it. But I feel like the 2 biggest things that you try to avoid, depending on what team you're using, is there's 3 main things that you try to avoid. Anything that has a high amount of spell reduction, anything that has a Doom within it, which has Indestructible, so if you're using like an instant kill of any kind, it won't work. And the third is anything that has a Revive. This is mostly relevant to 2 kingdoms, Dragon's Claw and Groshnak. Groshnak has a troop that has 100% Revive, and Dragon's Claw has multiple things that have a 25% Revive chance, and one that has a 50%. I guess theoretically, even Bladed Lands now, because ever since this most recent faction that just came out on Friday, 2 days ago, Blighted Lands now basically has its own Dragon Soul as far as its traits are concerned. So it's going to be really annoying. Plus it has a bunch of other things that have 25%, like Inferno King. So I guess you add Blighted Lands to that list now too, since it's basically like Dragon's Claw now. from a exploring perspective. Which is something I should probably mention for the video as well. I didn't even think about that until just now. But yeah, Blade of the Lands is now a horrible place to do exploring. Ever since this faction just came out. Mostly because of the legend that's in Blade of the Lands now. With its 50% chance to revive on death. Generally, you do want to be doing Explore on 12 if you can. However, if you're leveling up hero classes, you normally do it on 2 or 3. And if you're trophy farming, you do it on 5 if you have a quick kill team that can actually kill it up to that point. And also, don't forget to always claim the dungeon every single Sunday. It is the only day that throwing at 50 gems is 100% worth it. Just the diamonds alone is worth the 50 gems, and you also get 2 gem keys and a bunch of other good loot. Celestial, all the good stuffs. But it's definitely worth doing every Sunday, regardless of what point you are within the game. Anyways, let's go back to the level grinding. How close are we on the current Dervish level? Need 37 more. So close. Yet so far. Yeah, the biggest issue with using Iron Gut in most Explore situations is its first cast is not 100% chance to devour. I forgot how much attack he has these days outside of it, but I believe he can get around the 60s, which isn't that bad, but it's not 100%, which is the only bad thing. Iron Gut is more commonly used in things like Delves and Tower of Doom, and the main reason for this is both of these event modes have additional attack gain that will allow him to actually devour. Well, that might change a little bit once we start getting 20 Star Kingdoms, though. Because that'll bring in quite a bit more attack. What's the fastest way to get gold? There's a couple different ways to go about it. Though my personal favorite would probably be just running Skeleton Key with double Cedric and Egg Thief. Specifically in the order of double Cedric, Egg Thief, Hero using Skeleton Key. In that order. You can also theoretically use any hero class with it. However, it is best with a 50% mana start hero class. It takes about a minute to win a battle, but you get a really high amount of gold for the battle. You do it on Explore 12. Though you could do it technically in other locations too. I still use a smaller variant of it for pet battles quite often. A single Cedric version. Though that doesn't work on Explore 12, which is the main location you want to do. Because you get to use the high amount of gold that you get for completing out Explore 12, while also gaining all the additional gold. In order to max out your gold, you just have to keep casting Egg Thief, which will just fill its mana right back into itself. Is Medal of Seasons doable just from Explore? No. You can only get Medals of Seasons from the World Lore event. The next World Lore event starts tomorrow, and it will last for the week. So if you currently need more seasons, you'll be able to get it theoretically by the following Monday. You're going to be getting some medals throughout next week, and all those medals that you get throughout next week will be converted to Medal of Seasons by the end of the event. So if you're looking to get more Medal of Seasons, next week is the week to do so, because all the medals that you get throughout the week will be converted the following Monday to Medals of Seasons. So the time to do so is right around the corner, literally in several hours, though you don't get them until the following Monday. Let's see. With regards to soul farming while maximizing other resources, would you see Arena or Explore with Ferris? Ferris Raw with it onto Explore is still much better for soul farming for overall progress. Arena is pretty dated. Arena's good if you don't own Ferris Raw yet, but once you own Ferris Raw, you should pretty much never do Arena ever again. Yeah, you can run Explore 12 with Egg Thief. It's double Cedric, Egg Thief, Skeleton Key. Takes about a minute to win each battle, but you get a lot of gold per battle. Yeah, if you're just counting gold gain, I think 12 Explorer with double Cedric might be the highest rate in the game. I'm not 100% certain on that, but it's definitely one of the best methods, if not the best method. It gets like 4 to 450,000 gold per hour, though it depends what your bonuses are. But last I recall, it's upwards of 400,000 gold per hour. It is quite a hefty amount. Like, I can get all the gold I have right now in like 5 hours, which is 2 million, I believe we're sitting on right now. Yeah, 2 million. You can get that in like 5 hours just from using the Cedrics on Explorer 12 over and over again. Can you explain the troops do that makes it so good? After all, each troop has 300 durability, and you need lots of turns. What do you mean? With the Egg Thief team? So basically, the Cedrics allow you to get a bunch of extra gold. They have 100% gold gain, which brings your gold capacity to 300 rather than 100, which is normally its default. Well, with 2 Cedrics, each one giving 100% extra, would bring it to 300%, which is 300. You then go and use Egg Thief a bunch. Egg Thief gets to destroy more gems based on how much gold you have, and also gains gold per cast. So you basically do that to max out your gold while also destroying the entire board with your Gem Destroy, which gives a lot of mana accumulation. And an Egg Thief has damage that scales based on your gold amount, and that's how you do all the damage to the enemy. It also gets an extra turn whenever you get a kill, and hits 2 of them, the first and last slot. And all of it's pretty easy to obtain. Well, maybe not the Cedrics. Cedrics are obtained randomly from Vault Keys, and are probably the hardest thing out of all that to end up getting, since they're completely random drops and specifically only from Vault Keys. You do eventually get way more than you'll ever need, though. I think I have like 50 Spear Cedric copies. But it can be a little bit hard getting your initial ones. But the Egg Thief is just a random drop from Glory, Gem, and Guild Keys, which you can end up getting. It's just an ultra rare, so not the hardest of things to get. And then the other thing is Skeleton Key. Skeleton Key you get from 250 wins on Thief Hero class. And Thief Hero class you get from Zhejian Kingdom questline. Did I use 4 times Nocturnia for Pure Faction? Yes, 4 times Nocturnia is what we rolled with. Yeah, we'll be recapping that with a video very soon. This is kind of going over some things. It's actually a faction that can be done after the event. So the fact that we're covering it too late isn't too big a deal, even though we kind of already covered it on stream. But it is definitely one of them that you don't necessarily need potion effects for. Mostly because it has summon. And any summon faction tends to be easier. Just because you can exploit the enemy with its weaker summon, so that they do less skull damage to you, while also having the capability of regaining back your entire team in case you miss any, to make sure that you guarantee go with 4 into the final battle, which works really good for this faction since pretty much every troop can summon everything, because every single time you get Nocturnia, it creates eggs that can summon any of them, and then those eggs become more Nocturnias, and then those Nocturnias create more eggs, and you basically have a never-ending cycle of just constantly cycling through troops. It's actually really hard to die. A little bit easier if you didn't have potion effects, of course, but it is pretty straightforward. Wasn't the quickest of factions, but it was a really safe win. Just because you keep getting so much summon. And even if the enemy gets summoned, you're at the advantage, because their summons come in with way less stats. And you can use that to your advantage by making them, force them to take weak skulls. Yeah, I still haven't found a mech gnome. Though I haven't opened that many keys since mech gnome has existed. I would give 10 Cedric copies for a single mech gnome. But I think I've only opened about a dozen Vault keys since mech gnome has existed. And while I've gotten a couple common drops since then, we have not gotten the mech gnome yet. What is the easiest delve to do Pure Faction? Amethrax? No. The absolute easiest is either Stone Song Airy or Crypt. Stone Song Airy because it has summon and instant kill, and Crypt because it has instant kill with a really hefty tank. But yeah, either of those two are the absolute easiest to do it on, because they both have an instant kill mechanic, which you can exploit much more than the enemy can. Since all you have to do is kill their instant kill, and then you're pretty much good to go. I don't know, is Deep Hive that easy? If you had really high horde level, probably. In that sense, Amethrax would also be pretty easy if you had a really, really high horde level. It depends what your horde level is. Like, if you're going in with just 100 horde level, then Stonesong Eerie and Crypt would be easier. But if you're going in with like a 200 with 50% extra bonus stats, then yes, Amethrax and Deep Hive would probably be easier. It depends how many stats you're going in with as to which one is actually easier or not. Well, the main benefit Amethrax has is you can extra turn spam to such a degree that you can sometimes actually kill before they even get to do anything. You basically get 2 of them to full mana, and you just keep spamming their abilities. And just hope you don't get unlucky. The only big issue Amethrax has is you create a bunch of brown, but there's nothing good within the faction to put the brown into. So you tend to just go for truffle. Am I done leveling classes? No. We're quite literally trying to level classes right now. We got almost done. Dervish, we currently have it at 97, and we're about to, pretty much any minute now, have it at 98. Then Diabolus, we currently have at 90, which is getting pretty close. And then I have 3 other ones that are at like 80, 81. And then we'll be completely done with it. My plan is to try to get it by the end of next Vault event to hopefully have them done. Definitely, ideally, by next patch, if we can. And next Vault event is the 19th. So that weekend we'll be grinding very, very heavily on the, what's it called? On the class. Because we could theoretically do 1 per day during that weekend. So if we have 3 left, we could do 1 per day, and then boom, we'll be done. Because Dervish will have up by probably tomorrow. And then the other one will have up by probably passively over the next week or 2. The Diabolist. And then the other 3, I could just do 1 per day during the Vault event, whatever we don't have done of it. Which shouldn't be too bad to end up doing. Because if we end up breaking it down, we can get pretty easily over 200 XP per hour. Let's just say 200 XP. So if we get 200 XP per hour, and we need, what's 90 times 20? 90 times 20 divided by, 90 times 20, which is 1,800, divided by 200. So if we spend 9 hours a day for 3 days during Vault event, I will have every class in the game maxed. That is likely going to be our game plan then. So we're going to be streaming a lot that weekend. Hey, and we gained our level there. But, yeah, whatever we don't have done, I will be finishing that weekend. And assuming I don't level any of them beyond where they currently are, though they will be a little bit more leveled than that, it'll take 9 hours per day of grinding to get them from what they currently are at to 100. And we'll get a bunch of Vault event done simultaneously. Yeah, what's ever not done by then, we'll be doing a Vault event weekend. From the 19th to the 21st, those 3 days. What's the best team for soul farming? You assume you own all troops. There are 2, because it depends on how many stats you have. There's a Phylacracy build, which runs with a Fairish Ra, which quick kills off of Sacrificial Priest. And you basically go to a quick Sacrificial Priest in order to kill. This actually kills exceedingly quick on Explore 1 difficulty. I believe depending on your stats, you can even get Explore 2 kill. But you can just do it on Explore 1. And it's surprisingly good for souls. And the other one is Dragon Soul, double Fairish Ra with Umbra Wolf. And that one also gains a really, really good rate. As far as which one is better, I have not tested it extensively enough to know for sure. But I do recall the Phylacracy one possibly actually being the best these days. Though I generally mention the Dragon Soul Ferris Raw one just because it's more iconic. Let's see. Also because the Phylacracy one requires you to have a certain amount of magic. Whereas the other one, if you just own the troops, you can do it. It doesn't matter what your stats are. Because for the Phylacracy build to work, your Sacrificial Priest has to have enough damage to kill out Explorer 1 difficulty. And if you can't do that, it's slow. Very slow. Which is the biggest thing holding it back. You also need enough magic so that one cast of Phylacracy gives you max souls. Otherwise, it gains less souls. Hey, 1,000 glory, nice. There's some people that play this game for over 16 hours a day. So hopefully we'll get some amount of grind in prior so we don't have to do 9 hours a day. But after that, we'd pretty much be done. Phylacracy, what hero class do you use with it? I believe you do it with Necromancer. I'm pretty sure that build runs Necromancer. Actually, I need to go double check what that team is. I need to think it in my head. I forget what it is exactly off the top of my head. I believe it was Leprechaun gets used with it. So if I'm not mistaken, it's, let's see, what was it? I'm pretty sure it is, well, no, you would still run Ferris Raw. It's Phylacracy, Sacrificial Priest, Ferris Raw, and you either go another Ferris Raw or Leprechaun. I think you have to go Leprechaun, just because of how much mana it takes. It's going to be too slow otherwise. But yeah, I believe that's what you run it with, if I'm not mistaken. It's Phylacracy as Necromancer, followed by, and that just makes sure that you can cover the rest of the souls in case you can't, while also still having half mana start, any extra mana that you need. But so Phylacracy with Necromancer, followed by Sacrificial Priest, followed by Ferris Raw, followed by Leprechaun. I'm pretty sure is the team. I haven't used it in ages because I haven't needed the soul farm. However, that has two conditions. You need to have enough magic to reach max souls pretty much within one Phylacracy cast. And the other condition is you have to have enough damage to one-shot Explore 1. If you can't do either one those two things, Dragon Soul with double Ferris Raw is better. Though with the plus 12 magic that you get from having 3 Medals of Nisha, I believe that pretty much covers it though. As long as you have that and like 5-star All Kingdom. Though that could take forever to get that many medals for it. But you do need them eventually anyways. Phylacracy is pronounced as the C as a K. Phylactery? 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 I have no clue. What banner to use on your Skeleton Key team? +2 red, +1 brown, -1 yellow. I mean, -1 purple. Yeah, it's +2 red, +1 brown, -1 purple. I forget which banner it's called, but it's +2 red, -1. It's +2 red, +1 brown, -1 purple is the banner. Let's see, we'll throw that down. And that's for the Skeleton Key team, not the for the Phylactery one. If you got 39 souls, that should be fine then. Because you get 4 for the kills. And also, if you're using Necromancer, you get 1 per turn. And that in combination should cover it. Even if you only had like a 32 or something, it'd still probably work. Because you get 4 from kills and then you get 1 per turn. And there's some amount of turns that will go by. Though generally you can win in, I believe, 2 turns with it, if I'm not mistaken. It's about how long it normally takes, 1 or 2 turns. But ideally, you want to have the Phylacracy hit at least 36. If you can do that, then you're pretty much good to go. You can probably go stretch 35 or 34 if you're using Necromancer. fully traded. The reason why I go +1 when using a skeleton key team is worst comes to worst, because it has a 14 mana cost. So if you Surge Brown twice, you can turn 2-turn skeleton key without needing to touch Egg Thief. But yeah, some people just prefer going all into Egg Thief mana. You can play it either way. They both work. I just focus one color with Egg Thief, and then use the brown to 2-turn skeleton key, or better 1-turn it when after you got some of the mana from Egg Thief. But you definitely want to make sure you have at least 1+2 into the Egg Thief. And the main reason for this is if you can 5 times that color, she will gain full mana off of it, which really helps speed up the battle. And it's like run the +1 so you can 1 or 2 turn the skeleton key. Normally a 2-turn. And if anyone else has any other questions, do let me know. Otherwise, I think we'll call it a wrap soon. I'll have the event video up sometime tomorrow when the event switches over. Not too much to really go over next week, though. But we'll still go over everything. Main thing to really go over would be the World Lore event then. Everything else is pretty much just kind of standard event stuff for the most part, other than Bounty Hunter on Friday. But I won't be going over Bounty Hunter until the Friday itself, and then we'll do it on stream. Kind of like how we did with the faction on Friday. Hello, Sausage! Welcome! Yes, you could theoretically run the Sacrificial Priest team with 2 Fair Shraws. The only issue with this is it has a really high mana obligation. And if you get really unlucky on a board, you could take an entire minute to win with that team. You can try it that way. I have not tested it extensively with Archmagus for the +3 purple. Because you have to fill, I believe... How much mana would that be? You'd have to fill 10 mana manually with purples. Which I guess isn't too bad, because technically that'd be 2 purples, actually. The only problem is you wouldn't be able to consistently get that off a starting board. But 2 purples isn't too bad to go and try to farm for, just manually off the board. Like this board right here, boom, we'd have full mana instantly. Boom. But obviously other boards might be a little bit less easy than that to get the initial mana from. But yeah, it's something I might test whenever we get something where we actually need a soul sink again. Because I haven't tested various soul farming teams in the current state of the game for multiple hours on end for a while now. Just because I haven't really had a need to. Eventually we'll need to with metal upgrading. Metals eat up a lot of souls. And I'm eventually actually going to run out of souls. Not anytime soon. But if we were to upgrade every single troop with the current metaling system, we'd be like... We need like another 30 million souls or something. I would need on my account. Though, of course, we're getting nowhere near that anytime soon. But if we ever were to do every single troop in the game, which is obviously not likely, but if we ever were, I would not have enough souls for it. Though realistically, no one does. And no one will even be at that point because of how many medals you need to do so. Not sure what the highest amount of metalage any person has, but I'm pretty sure no one has over 300 troops done yet. I'd be surprised if anyone even has 200 yet. I'm pretty sure there's someone who grinds like crazy who has gotten 200 troops upgraded and medaled. Currently about 0.3 or 0.2% of the game or so have gotten 100 medaled. Because we know that from the achievement. 50,000, anything over 50,000 for Guild Wars is good. Average, I would probably say, is 45,000. Anything above 50,000 is good. And anything above 53,000 is really good. Wait, is that actually... Wait, hold up. What is really good? It's 9,500 times 6. Yeah, anything above 55,000 is really good. So yeah, 45,000 plus is probably average. Anything like 40,000 or below is below average. 45,000 is about average. 50,000 plus is pretty good. And 55,000 plus is insanely good. And if you somehow have, let's see. If you somehow have over 57,000, you did absurdly good. Anything above 57,000 is theoretically perfect score. Let's see, we'll take that for now. Oh, you can actually reach 200 with medals? You're just short on souls? Nice. Yeah, that's the only problem. No soul farming team can quickly explore 12 while also soul farming. You have to do them separately. And most of the best soul farming teams in the game run on Explore 1 and Explore 2. Which, while they still give you some amount of tokens, they give you really low rarity ones. At a really slow rate. While you can gold farm while simultaneously metal farming, you can't really soul farm while simultaneously metal farming. Which is rather unfortunate. Given that metals need a lot of souls. But yeah, the highest score you could ever theoretically get in Guild Wars realistically is about 58,000. And that is nearly impossible to do. Anything above 50,000 is possible, like slightly above it. However, it is extremely hard to do because that means you scored over 9,500 every day. Actually, 9,500 is, hold up, isn't that 50,000? Times 6. Yeah, 57,000 is 9,500 per day. So 9,600 would be around 57,600 per day. Or total, I mean. Which is 9,600 per day. 57,600 by the end of the week. Which means to be able to break to 58,000, you would need to have, what does that number come out to? You would need to have, what is that number? We need to have, math. I'm doing this in such a weird way just because I'm doing it in my head. Please clear it. Why aren't you not clearing? There we go. I was clicking the wrong button. But yeah, we would need to have about a... 9,666. You would have to score on average about 9,666 points per day to be able to break 58,000, which means I'm pretty sure no person has ever actually broken 58,000 yet, because that would be pretty much perfect score if anyone was ever to get 58,000. That is the realistic most perfect score you could ever have. Anything above 7,000 is also pretty much perfect score. But it is realistically possible to hit 58,000. Slightly above it. But I'm not sure if anyone has ever screenshotted that yet. Because it is nearly impossible. Have I listed my defend teams anywheres? I kind of keep adjusting it almost every single Guild Wars. But our current ones are right over here. Is what I currently use after I go take tributes. I switched them out almost every Guild Wars, so we don't really have them listed at the moment. But here's what I currently run. Of course, there's plenty of good viable teams that you can run for any of them. But for blue, I currently run a Life and Death team. Pretty standard combo, running something in first slot. Life and Death, Arachne, Weaver, King Avalon. I feel like people are getting better at hard countering this. Even I'm getting better at hard countering Life and Death. It's becoming less and less of a threat. Kind of like how no one uses dwarfs anymore on Red Day. But, I don't know, I still like using it, so I just use it. I use a weird version of an anti-yellow with the extra skull damage off a Wild Fang for my yellow day. And the last two troops cover every color, so it works out pretty well. I run the Divinish Ball of Quillen combo for Green Day currently. But I think I'm going to go switch back to Frost Mage for it instead of Assassin, Because actually didn't win a single time. But with Frost Mage, it probably would have claimed some wins. This one actually did our absolute best this week. It is a truffle team that can't use double truffles, so it's centered around being able to be workable for defend team without costing us any points. It's Forest Troll, Mirage Queen, King Gap Truffle, and Elemental Bow. This ended up working out very well, as you can see by it having the high score so far this week for us. And yeah, it's basically a double truffle team built to a single truffle, so that's usable for Guild War Defend. And the Mirage Queen is quite a bit further up than you would normally use it. And the main reason for this is because it has skull reduction. And in the last slot, the AI wouldn't really get to utilize it that much. But you can kind of move it up a little bit, so it does get to use it a little bit more. It also allows it to get a random skull spam, which I might be able to land. Other than that, for Defend Brown, I end up running a Yagoi Queen Titania team. It's got even stronger recently ever since Child of Summer was added to the game with the brown to red with Red Storm convert. This not only counters out Mountain Crusher's Brown Storm, but it also gives you a Red Storm which synergizes really well with your whole team and can lead to some auto-win situations, as you can tell by its also very good score that I got, which are probably our two strongest defend teams, I would say, overall. And today I just ran kind of a skull spam variant for a red day. There's a couple different ways that you could go about this. But also that one troop that converts blue to red, I mean red to blue, also works pretty decent for this day. But I don't build around it currently. I use the Glaceon method instead. But yeah, it's all of our defend teams, with these two being by far the best, if you have all the components for them. A Yagoi Queen Titania team, and a Truffle team. Both very, very strong. Also, Yagoi Queen Titania has been meta for so long. They've never really dropped out of meta since they have existed for like 2.5, 3 years. They've been meta for pretty much 3 years now. Maybe not the absolute strongest thing in the game, but they've never fallen off since they've been added to the game, which is pretty funny. Like, even things like Great Maul and stuff, which at one point was the best thing in the game, have fallen off. Like, almost everything that has ever been meta has become a lot less meta, like Gorgotha with dragons and stuff like that, or even just Gorgotha in general. But Yagoi Queen Titania is one of those things that I felt like has fallen off the least over time. It's almost as viable as it was then as it is now. And honestly, it might even be more viable now than it was back then. Obviously, there's more viable teams in the game. But as far as its actual viability, Child of Summer really helped bump it up in how good it was. Because it basically gave it a storm when it didn't originally have a storm. You might have like a temporary one off a hero. Or I guess you could kind of use Sun Spear and make it a little clunky and have that way. But having it off that ability made it so you basically open it up to any hero class in the game, including Frost Mage and stuff like that, which really helped boost its power. And if I'm not mistaken, I even run it with Frost Mage now, since we don't have to run Sun Spear or something. I'm pretty sure I run it with Frost Mage. Yeah. Oh, no, I actually don't. Wait, why am I using it with Sentinel? Oh, yeah. I'm doing it with Sentinel so it can tank. Though you can also do it with Frost Mage if you want to go the freeze option. But I went Sentinel because it has the most amount of protection in the entire game. And this is mostly to make sure it stays alive long enough against Skull Spam to be able to get off its combo. But yeah, that's the main reason I ended up doing it that way. It also gives it a bunch of barrier. If I'm not mistaken, I have my Sentinel set so it gives barrier whenever an ally dies. Yes, it gives a barrier whenever an ally dies. Because the most important thing to try to keep alive is the Yagoi Queen Titania. And between the barrier that you get when your hero dies and the 25% chance to bury a random ally per turn, this will normally give you a barrier onto Yagoi and Queen Titania to help them stay alive. And that's the most important thing, is to keep those two alive. And this also is a kind of a barrier against Skull Spam, just to help in that regard a little bit. It's basically a Skull Spam counter in that way. And unlike something like Dragon Guard, Sentinel has immune to stun built into it off its final trait if you have it fully maxed, which makes it so you don't need to worry about stun either, which is quite nice. But anyways, any other questions, anyone? Anything I missed? Otherwise, I'll probably wrap up for tonight. Yeah, I think my best so far was around a 55,000 something, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, what did I end up scoring finally this week? I'm pretty sure I scored close to a 50... Well, I lost one battle, so it has to be a bit lower. I think we scored like a 51,000 then. And if it wasn't for that one, we would have scored like 53, 54. Let me double check. I actually didn't see what my total was. Guild War. Where's our total? Oh, never mind. We scored 54,000. And that was with 2 losses, too. Never mind. But yeah, without those 2 losses, we would have been close to 56 something. Because yeah, we got a few really solid days. We had 2 days over 9,600 this week. And both our losses weren't that bad. I think they were both around 8,000, which for 1 loss is actually a pretty high score. Actually, did we get Paragon? Let me double check. Did we beat out everyone in our guild? We have 54,058. 54,058. We have 2 losses. But we might have beat everyone out. 54,058. 54,058. Ooh, what is that low score? Who's Jen? Jen! Why are you such a high level but doing so bad in Guild Wars? Jen. Why? Let's see. Also, someone didn't do their battles. Actually, a couple of people didn't yet. But yeah, I think we just got Paragon. I'm pretty sure we just got Paragon in our guild. There's quite a few 53,000s, but I don't think anyone hit over 54,000. Aside from us, which means Paragon for next week, or next month, I should say. And who knows, we might have the next patch by then. Which might make Guild Wars rather interesting. For reasons that will become more evident later. It might make Guild Wars more interesting. Not because Guild Wars is being changed. But, well, I guess technically you can consider it a change. We still don't know exactly what it will do to it, but, we'll know soon. I'll be able to mention things. But, yeah, it'll be interesting. I kind of hope it doesn't, but oh no. I can't really say too much. But, you'll know what I mean the second you see it. What I mean by that. Also, we didn't end up, making first place, which is sad. But as long as we make top 3 and maintain it, we do move up back to bracket 5. But it looks like we will be a little bit short to actually take number 1 in this bracket, unfortunately. Also, Black Pearl's all the way down here. I remember this being bracket 1 very often. But then again, so were we. My guild was the first guild to ever reach, to ever get a win Guild Wars. We won the very first place in the very first Guild Wars ever. We were oh, that just completely changed the size. But yeah, we were the first guild to ever get first place in Guild Wars. And we have video proof of it. But, yeah. Quite a few guilds kind of moved down over time. Like, I don't even think Interim's in bracket 1 anymore. Which is still the second highest trophy guild in the entire game. Yet they're moving down to bracket 3. Guild Wars is getting, like, really competitive. These days. Like, really, really cutthroat. For the difficulty. Like, the difficulty of Guild Wars has definitely increased over time. Compared to before. Because people only get better and better at making defends. And as people get better at making various defends, it's just going to make the game mode harder, not easier. Because the person who's attacking is theoretically at disadvantage due to being at a color restriction. Compared to defends that don't have any color restriction. I know, we need to go get some good Guild War players, I know, right? I'm pretty sure Salty will accidentally leak stuff. She always does too. We'll find out on Monday. She'll be doing a stream. Not sure if she'll mention anything about next patch. But you never know. Anyways, guys, I'm going to be heading out for now. Hope you all have a wonderful week. Don't forget, if you still want to go get the Basilisk, it's still available for a couple more hours. And don't forget, same amount of time as that, 5 hours and 26 more minutes for Basilisk and event key drop table. And also that much more time to go finish out the event, if you want to go do so. Oh, wait, was that Black Dragon? I thought it was Black Pearl. I thought they were both in bracket 1 at one point. I don't know, maybe I was confusing it with another guild. But anyways, guys, I'm going to be heading out for now. We'll have the video going up soon for all the event stuff. And, yeah, we'll go from there. So, event stuff soon. Tomorrow night we'll be doing World Lore events. And go from there. Unfortunately, no new good troops coming out tomorrow. But we'll still have the World Lore event to mess around with. Grind that out. Start getting back onto the Dervish grind. And start getting our hero classes up. So that by 2 weeks from now, we pretty much have them all maxed. And not need to worry about another hero class ever again. Which will be pretty nice. Anyways, guys, thanks for stopping by. Enjoy your week. Catch you guys soon. And best of luck with everything. Goodbye, everyone. Stay safe out there.